Hello everyone, Jen DeBell here for Jen DeBell Designs and Country Craft Creations. Today, as I showed in my recent sneak peek from yesterday, I am going to do a little tutorial on how I make my layered dimensional cards and tags. I don't normally do tutorials like this. Usually, I'm going to fix my camera there. Usually, I do, albums where I'm cutting paper and scoring paper and doing all that. So this is going to be done more like a live. I'm just going to show you how I do this and the things that I use to make these. And like I said, it'll be more like a live. So I'm not going to be editing this. I'm just going to go for it and put it up for you so you can see how I make these. So I'm going to give you a couple examples first. I have a couple that I did last year with Christmas Dreams, the gorgeous CCC paper. And as you can see, now I call them dimensional. Some people call them layered. These have a lot of different items. And they're not really mailable unless you make a box for them. So if you make these cards, you would probably want to either hand deliver them to someone or make a box for them, which is very simple to do. As you can see on this one, I did some stitching, which you can do. I normally do these in slimline because I like the way it looks. And a slimline is traditionally 3.5 by 8.5. Sometimes I make mine a little bit bigger. You can do any size that you want. You can even make traditional size cards and add the focal point on the front. Basically, you're just building on a composition that makes, the eye flow right to that area. So this one that I did these were 4.25 by 8. And then I also have some Prima ones that I did with paper that I purchased at CCC store when I was in Utah at the retreat last year. And these were done in the traditional 3.5 by 8.5 size, which is what we're going to be doing today. So as you can see, there's a lot of different elements to these that just makes them it makes your eye wander in a lot of different places. So I want to show you, as you could see in my little sneak peek, as well as what you're seeing here on my desk, there's a lot of different elements. So what I like to do when I make these is I grab my Fussy Cuts, my Ephemera, flowers, chipboard, any other elements, bits and bobs of chipboard, little pieces that I have cut up that I've kept. And then this time I did not have all of the ephemera for the Simple Vintage 'Tis the Season collection, which is what I'm predominantly using. And then I'm using the frames that I did accidentally order with 'Tis the Season with my design team package. I ordered the Dear Santa. So I'm going to be using the Santa Clauses I've cut from the frames. Now, because I didn't have the ephemera, what I did have was the Simple Stories cardstock stickers, which are nice and heavy. And I just backed those on white paper. I kept one uncut so that you could see. I put them on paper, and then I fussy cut them and made my own ephemera from the stickers that I can use. In addition to that, I do have the Floral Bits that I have cut the white border. Most ephemera comes like this, and you see this border around the outside. I've cut most of that off on mine, as well as on the cover of the album I did with this. I just like the look of it better. And then I've pre-cut some of the paper. And for this one, this was the one from the sneak peek. I might change a couple things. However, got glitter everywhere from that snowflake. These snowflakes that I have are just Christmas ornaments that you can buy in a package at your local craft store. I also have some chipboard snowflakes that I've embossed in a gold embossing powder, a bunch of different, these are Buttons Galore and More. This is a Christmas mix from last year. I'm going to use some of the little candy Starlight Mints in there. I like to use dewdrops, these little fun plastic bits. And then I have this set that I purchased at the Country Craft Creation store to go with the Sugar and Spice collection, but I'm going to remove some of the red sequins from that to use. So let's get into this. Now, how I did my first portion here that I've already got, the part that is done, is I matted this with gold, and then I had some of the, I'm not sure if this is still available, it's the pearlescent paper that was the artisan. I had a scrap of that, and it just went really well with this paper. And then I took a piece of chipboard that measures 2 3/4 by 7 3/4. And I put my next piece of paper on top of that just for a little bit more lift. And I will tell you that I'm making these ones at the 3.5 by 8.5. And I did my first mat 3 1/4 by 8 1/4. My second mat 3 1/8 by 8 1/8. And then, of course, this one is 2 7/8 by 7 7/8. Okay. So now we're just going to build on that. And I also like to use this tool for scraping the paper. There's lots of different ones you can get that do this. You can even use your scissors to do it if you don't have a tear tool like this. And basically, I just like to rough up the top layer, this top piece of paper. I'm not going to do any sewing on camera today just because it's a lot to get out. But if you did want to sew it, I usually sew the paper and then put it on. I don't try to sew it on to the next layer. Once the seam is in there, you can glue the paper down and it will actually hold your thread even better. So that's how I do it. And this is going to be the second one we make, so I'm just going to go ahead and rough this up to show you. It's just to give it that little kind of vintage look. Let's get rid of all that. So I'm going to try to follow along with my own photo. So if I feel it looks like I'm moving a lot, it's because my computer screen is actually behind me and I have my sneak peek up because I wanted to do this along with you rather than do it as much like the sneak peek as I could, and then we'll do this one completely different. So in the sneak peek, I used a tag that I ended up changing to this one. I wanted a little bit more of the black, so I'm going to go ahead and rough this up as well, just a bit. I just wanted a little bit more color and more of the black and green behind just to match the rest. And I'm going to take a hole punch and punch out the hole in the tag. And this is from the tags that you can get for this collection. And then I am going to grab a little strip, if I can find it. I know I put it here. Oh, I also forgot to tell you, so I will probably use a variety of different things. I have my We Are Memory Keepers glue gun. I have some 3D matte gel, which is amazing for your flowers and other embellishments. And then, of course, the art glitter glue that I get from the Country Craft Creations store. Somewhere here, I had some white shiny ribbon, and it seems to have jumped ship. Oh no, here it is. So I'm going to cut a little piece of this, and if I wanted to, I could do red or burgundy or something. I just want the little added pop of shine from this ribbon. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this through that tag before I put it down on the paper. And that's a little bit much, so I'm going to go ahead and snip these. And then I just like to kind of wrinkle and crinkle a little. So see, that ribbon will also make this stand up just a little bit more. So that will go down first, okay? Then our snowflake, which I'm going to use, this big one. Usually I only use half. That way it doesn't get all over everything. And I think, you see, I do have a half cut over here, but I'm just not sure you'll see enough of it, but maybe. Let's just pull this. I don't like to center anything. So I either try to put my focal point, my composition on one side or the other of a slim line. So we would have this here. Turn Santa in. Yeah, let's just use that half for this one. Like I said, I did a full on the other one, but I don't think we need it. I think that's a little much. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and put my tag directly on the paper. I'm not going to glue that really up top portion, just down here to get this adhered, because I want to see that top and I want it to have some movement. So let's put that up there. And then we can start building from there. And if you want to see a little bit of the bottom, you can ruffle that up just a bit. Okay. So what I will do then is I will use matte gel. And I use the matte because if you get too much and you use the gloss, like the 3D gloss gel, you have a tendency to see it and it gets messy and muddy. And I just prefer to use the translucent but matte. I don't want to see all that extra. So I'm just going to dip this in. Put a little on a couple spots. This stuff dries amazingly as well. I actually like it better than using hot glue, if I'm being honest, just because the hot glue gets really messy and stringy and gets all over the place, and I don't always want that on my projects. So since I'm not going to see this, I'm not going to worry about the extra. Normally I have a small paintbrush when I'm using, and I will just go in and clean up any extra of that matte gel. All right, now our Santa Claus. Now you can see that when we put Santa on here, that we're going to need, and I'm not actually quite sure, I think I actually do need to use a full snowflake now that I look at it. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one again. We'll just, oof, that's a lot. We will just pat some matte gel down on here. And try that again. Now, I'm trying to see how far I let it stick out on the sample I showed. So now we don't have to add as much lift to Santa. We can add more cardboard if you wanted it even higher. I am just going to set him there, and we're going to figure out what else goes down. And then we will start gluing. If we start gluing now, then you can't slip things in and out. So that's essential too to remember when you're making these, is get your composition together the way that you want it, and then start lifting your pieces and adding your glue. It makes it a lot easier than trying to glue something and then lift it up and glue something and lift it up. So on my example, I did add cardboard here. And like I said, I keep all of my pieces that I've cut off of things when I'm making albums and such. And then I just keep all of my scrap chipboard to use for projects like this. Now this is a rather large. Do I want it that high? Yeah, I do. I think Santa might actually need, if you see this little wobble in things, depending on what we're going to put there, I did use, so I cut the Santa from a frame, but this frame is so cute. You can use this And not only if you use it for the matching, so it matches, you can cut. I took a piece of the end and I cut this fun little tag just to add that little element, but it's still not going to be tall enough. So what I am going to do here is I'm going to add a little piece of chipboard to Santa down here on the corner. We'll see if that's high enough. So he doesn't wobble so much. We don't want him all wobbly. Yeah, that's better. All right. So once you know, I'm going to go ahead and add. See, I told you I'm going to change things. This is why I don't usually do this type of tutorials, but I was asked to do this, so I am here to show you how I do these. I'm going to add, you know what, let's take these small ones off, and I'm going to cut a larger piece for Santa. And you can hold your chipboard up when you cut it so that you know it's going to fit. And let's see how that works. I always dry fit. Yeah, I like him up just a little bit higher. So let's go ahead and I'm going to use matte gel on this. So the matte gel doesn't dry quite as fast either. So that if you want to move something, usually you still have plenty of open time to do so. I'm just going to slather that on there and on there. Put that down. Just make sure it doesn't show on the other side. You don't want to see the sides of your chipboard. Figure out right where we want Santa. Yeah, see, he looks better sticking up a little. And then we will move on to our little poinsettia here. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. I'm just going to cut a piece. And this will only be done in one layer. And I am going to put this down. Oops. Goodness, that's a lot. Jen's going crazy with the matte gel today. I'm going to set that down on Santa. And then I will put my poinsettia down there, like so. See how this is kind of getting some movement to it? That is what you want. Go ahead and add some to this. And my poinsettia. And I think I might be doing this just a little bit differently, like I said that I would. I should have probably just glued it when I was doing it the first time, but I didn't. So here we are. All right. This is kind of wonky. I'm thinking I need to add more chipboard here to my Santa. I don't know. Okay. You just really have to feel everything and see if things are going straight, if they're not, if they're going to move. And when you're using this gel, it's very easy for it to move around. Now I did have, oh, there it is. Okay. Not quite sure why I'm popping up. Let's put some regular art glitter glue down here. I think this is why, because the matte gel will try to dry. Got a clog in my glue. All right, let's try that so it doesn't bend so much. That's better. All right, so there's my poinsettia. Then we are going to have another poinsettia that sits off to the side, if I remember correctly, or was it up higher? It was up higher. So we'll put that up higher. Again, I'm going to use chipboard to raise it, this time just one layer, just like we did with the last poinsettia. Yeah, maybe we'll do that one in two. I'm going to go ahead and do that one with 2 layers. Goodness. I think I'm going to have to hot glue Santa here off camera. He's giving me fits. So let me just grab him real quick. I'm just off camera adding some hot glue to the backing that we put on Santa, the cardboard, so that he sits down. He just doesn't want to cooperate with me right now. Yeah, now he won't move so much. All right. Now we can add our other little poinsettia here. And once these dry, you can bend your flowers and do different things with them as well. And then I had this fun little fussy cut that says believe, and I want that there. So I'm going to add that, and I'm only going to put glue along the edge here and where it's going to adhere. I just want it to kind of sneak out of there. And I will always have a pokey tool on hand, as well as tweezers once we get to the sequins and such, so I can push it down. See, it's already looking like a fun composition here. I'm gonna go ahead and close this up so it doesn't dry out. Now we are going to add some fun snowflakes. I need to see where I put those. So I had one down here in the sneak peek. So we're going to go ahead and put glue on the back of this one. And sneak it up under there. And then we had a smaller one peeking out of our tag up here. So I'll do that one. Fun. All right, so that is most of the elements that you will put on. I did have a little piece of this star anise also. Where did I put that? That was over here. And you can also add more. I mean, you can do whatever you want with these cards as long as you stick to a composition that keeps the eye following in the direction that you want. I also had this. Now this one I did not cut off the ends of it. And I'm going to lift up my snowflake really quick because it's not dry yet, and I'm going to add this over here. See if I still like that. Yeah. Put my snowflake, more glue, and put it back. And you can see that I'm being pretty sparing when it comes to the glue. I don't want a whole bunch of glue globbing all over, so I don't put a lot. Oh, and I have this little guy here too that needs to go down, which is this greenery. Yeah, we'll put that right in there. Cut a tiny, 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 tiny little square so I can pop this up a bit. And I do suggest a good heavy-duty scissor. For cutting this chipboard, I use, like I said, all my scraps, but it's usually heavy chipboard. So you want to make sure that you can cut through it. I don't suggest using your cutter bees because I did that for a while and mine got really worn down. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that right about there. Yeah, that's cute. Okay, a little bit more layer. The more layers you add, the more things you add, you're going to have even more dimension. So now comes the super fun part, which is adding in all of the little sequins and I want this here. Yeah, I kind of like that there too. I think I might add that up here. Somehow, not quite sure. And don't be afraid to hide things. People can still tell that that's 25. You don't have to see the entire thing to know that it's there and what it is. And I was going to put that in as well. So let's go ahead and, is there any matte gel left on here? There is. Like I said, I do like to use, yeah, not enough. Let's just go ahead and add. I'm going to slip this little tag up under here. So that's super cute too. Well, if it was straight, it would be super cute. Okay, so now we have our main composition. Now I'm going to go in. Now this is one of the daunting parts, is going in with tweezers to put down all of your... I don't have one of those. Well, actually, you know what? I think I do. I just am not quite sure where it is. The little tools that you pick up your jewels with. I don't seem to know what I did with those. So I have some tweezers. I do have one of those tools. I know I do because aha, here it is. I just don't know how sticky it is anymore. So what I like to do is I take a piece of my chipboard and I will add my art glitter glue, a decent sized little glob of it at least. And then I'm going to pick up my red sequins that I want. See, this is not very sticky. Do a little dab of glue on there because it does not take much. And we will just start adding. You can also just dot it on the paper. It's just picking it up. It's not always the easiest. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to dot a couple spots where I plan to put my sequins. So I have one there. And you can put them anywhere. Just do your own thing when it comes to adding your little sequins and decorative items. I always say just you do you on that. You don't have to follow me exactly. I need a red sequin here. I'll put one up here. So now you can start seeing this coming together. I'm going to grab this gold one here, this little put a gold one here. And you really can add, like I said, anything you want. You can do sequins, you can do more snowflakes, you could add glitter. Put that there. And I'm going to put a couple of these little candy cane or starlight mints, that's what they are, on here as well. well, if it'll stick. Sometimes I use like little seed beads. See how that's coming together? Super fun. Let's add a gold one up here and a couple more of these fun little starlight. When you make these as you're going along, a lot of times when I start to make them, I'm like, what am I doing? This looks like a mess. And then once it's done, you're shocked to find that it is not too much. It's actually gorgeous once you get all this together. I need to grab a couple more of these little starlight mints. Okay. Now, I'm going to look and see on my picture behind me really quick if I added anything else. I don't think that I did. I think this one is good to go. We did add a few things to it, but I like the way this one turned out. This one's super cute. I could add a couple more. Let's add just a couple more elements up in here. So I'll put like green or golds, maybe a sequin there. Maybe a sequin there. Since I have some sequins floating around in here. And like I said, don't be afraid to tuck things and put things in spots on here that you wouldn't normally think would work. You will be shocked at how well they work on a composition when you kind of hide them. And I need another gold out of here. There we go. You can also add things like these smaller sequins in between if you want more bling. Like I said, you can add glitter. I like to use this really fine glitter, which there is some available in the store. You can use buttons. You can also use real flowers. You don't have to use the paper ones if you don't want to. And then you would just line your inside of the card with white paper and a sentiment, or however you wanted to do that. I also have some little snowflakes here that I got from, these are from an old design team package. So I think I might put a couple of these on here just because they're so cute. Falling snowflakes. Who doesn't like falling snowflakes? I'll go ahead and add a couple of these. Kind of dab the glue off those because they're really translucent. Let's see, let's put one here. And put one here. That's a lot of glue. Okay. So I'm going to add a little piece of chipboard to this 25. I'll just use this one. Cut part of it off since I already have it. Like I said, I use everything. Everything I can. There's already some glue on this. So I'm just going to go ahead. Put that on our 25. Glue on the back, and we're going to tuck that right underneath there with Santa. Oh, we're going to have to use hot glue because that glitter doesn't want to stick. So just going off camera for a minute to hot glue the back of this. Trying very hard not to burn myself. All right, and there you have it. That is a layered, or dimensional, as I call them, slimline Christmas card. Love it. Okay, so I just want to show you some different ways that you can do tags as well. I'm not going to make one necessarily, but I wanted to show you. Now, if you buy the Graphic 45 staples, these are great to use because if you want a heavier tag, you can use the dies with these, okay? I also have, I believe these are from 2D Designs. These are a nesting stitched tag that's your normal square tags. Also the Heartfelt Creations album tags and accents can be used, especially these here, the two on the back. Tabs can be used, and then of course the normal pre-made Graphic 45 tags are great. Even gift tag size, you can put tiny little embellishments on these and make them. So that's some ideas for that. I want to show you how to make one of these really quick with flowers rather than all that paper. So what I wanted to show you is the black bases that I used for that one is a 7 by 8.5 inch piece. So I just took one of my 8.5 by 11 of the Artisan Black, and I cut it down to from 11 to 7, and then I'm going to score it at 3.5. I have glitter everywhere from these snowflakes. All right, I got that a little offset. You really want to make sure that these line up nicely. And unfortunately, mine did not. So I'm going to redo that. Let's try now. What do we got? All right. Good enough. Okay. Keep my scoreboard out of the way. So for starters, I'm going to do the, I think I cut this one so I didn't need the gold. No, we're going to do the gold. Okay. I need to cut a piece of gold. I've already cut the paper scraps that I had from this. I'm also considering making a fun little mini waterfall album. Just with all the extra, I have quite a bit of scraps left. I only have one solid sheet left of the 'Tis the Season because my album was quite extensive that I made and used a lot of the papers. So I might make a fun little folio or something with the rest for you. So here is 3 1/4, and we're going to go to 8 1/4. You know, you can't see this on camera. So that is our 3 1/4 by 8 1/4. This will be our mat. Again, I'm using this gold foil paper from my stash for the mats. Oh, what is going on with my glue? It just wants to clog today. I did just refill it, so that could have something to do with it. I think it might have some air trapped in it or something. All right. All this glitter. Put this down. Oof, I made a mess. Goodness gracious. But I need a different bone holder. Let's see here. Just going to smooth that out. Normally when I make these cards, I just make them. So doing a tutorial, excuse me, for this is a little different for me. So then my pearl paper is 3 1/8 by 8 1/8. Okay. Need to find a cloth. I'm gonna have glue. These papers are both slicker than regular paper, so the glue wants to slide around. Okay. And I did cut a piece already for the cover here, and it's a little bit different, and that's okay because it'll just hang over a bit. So we're going to go ahead and add glue to this piece of chipboard that I cut. It's usually about 2 3/4 by, I will measure it here in just a second. Stick my pin in my glue so it stops bubbling. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think I have air trapped. So this is, it's 2 3/4. It was a little short, so we're going to go ahead and put it on here. And as you can see, a little bit of paper will hang over, and that is okay, but not on the bottom. I'm going to add a little piece of chipboard because I already had this and I didn't want to waste it. So yeah, we're just going to add another little tiny strip. This is a great way to use up any leftover chipboard that you have. Like I said, I keep mine all, I have a whole bin, a 13-inch bin full of chipboard scraps. And then the little ones I just keep on my desk. So if I need one when I'm doing a layering project such as this, then I can just do it. So then we're going to go ahead and add glue to that side. To release some air or something. All right, now we're going to put this down on our mat and burnish. You want to give this a really good burnish on both sides when you're doing the chipboard lift. Now this one I'm going to be doing from scratch because I don't have anything to follow. So this is how I do them when I start doing them, is I just do them from scratch. So this one we're going to do with a few more flowers and such. I've also cut another Santa from those frames that I ordered on accident, and I'm just going to trim a little bit of this white edge off of him. I don't mind this side, but this side was a little much. So for this one, we're going to put our snowflake on the opposite side, and we will build this way. So I'm going to go ahead off camera and put some hot glue on my snowflake carefully because it is plastic. Go right about there. Okay, that's where we're going to start our build. Oof, hot glue. Like I said, stringy, messy, not my favorite thing. And we're going to cut a little piece of chipboard for Santa to lift up. I have some bigger pieces back here. Yeah, that one will work. Again, I'm hot gluing off camera here. And I'm not going to hot glue him to it yet. I want to get my composition started. Oof, except we have hot glue still underneath there. Don't want that. And then I'm going to grab some flowers and things and do this. More in the way that I did the Prima ones that I did with the flowers. That's what we'll do. We'll do one similar to this. So I have, where are my flowers? Oh, they're over here. Goodness. All these fun flowers over here. I have some Prima leftovers that are poinsettias, which go great with this paper. I have one that looks somewhat like a magnolia in here. And we will, I don't think I have a very big one though. I have to use this big white one. Glittery. And then add our reds. Not this one. Like I said, I like to kind of have this going. So I can see how everything's going to look. Okay. And I feel like that white is too much. Maybe we'll do, yeah, maybe we'll do a gold one. I wish I was doing live, then I could ask what you guys think about the gold. And we're going to put something, oh, I forgot to put a tag up here. I was going to put a tag. I can still do it under Santa. We'll just cover part of our snowflake. Could do that. I kind of want to put this fussy cut element under here so that you see that pine cone and stuff. And don't be afraid to cut your fussy cuts down. That's a very common, thank you, excuse me. It's a very common thing to do. If there's pieces that are getting in your way, like these leaves are me at the moment, just snip them off. As long as everything is still even, it will not matter. And I am going to go off camera for a second, see if I have some gold, different color gold. I'm not liking this one. Okay, so I found this fun black and white one that I have. That's an older Prima flower. And I kind of liked how that one looked. So I'm going to use that. It goes well with the background papers. And I'm just going to stack. So I'm going to just glue this guy down to Santa, because we will probably end up gluing Santa here in a moment. But I want to see how this looks. So go ahead and glue that on there. So I just get some of that pop of that white flower and that little pine cone at the bottom. I'll lift those up a bit. Then our bigger black and white flower. We have a, yeah, that works. We could also stick a little tiny poinsettia up underneath here. We shall see. Like I said, I wish I was doing a live so I could ask opinions. I could also just do a white flower here. And then the poinsettias. Yeah, I think I like that better just because there's a lot of black. And I can add some gold paint with my finger to the edge of this flower so that it looks more like these if I want to. Not going to do that right now, but I am going to add some glue to the back of this flower, hot glue, and place it right about there so you can see that pine cone. And then we will put our smaller one on top. And see, Santa is not all the way stuck, so we can move this around if we choose to, which I like that option. All right, now I need to decide what I want to put under Santa, kind of cascading down here. These fun roller skates that were one of the stickers. That could be fun. We have this Deck the Halls that can go on here as well. Might use that. This little camera. This fun little element here. Yes, that could be fun. I really like that little envelope element. Super cute. What else do I have? I have some mittens. I like the mittens better than the skates, I think. Yeah. Oh, and I have a tree that we could tuck. I think I'm going to put this tree up under Santa, actually. I kind of like that idea. Let's see. Yeah. That's a good one. Okay. So let's lift up Santa. And I am going to put this tree right on top of our snowflake. Then we get some stuff up here in this open space as well. Yeah, that works. You can see part of the tree here. We don't see as much of our snowflake, so I might want to move him down a hair. Yeah, right about there. That works. Now we can glue Santa. I'm going to go ahead and put glue on his backing. I'm actually thinking I want him a little higher. I'm going to cut another small piece. Or some pieces I already have together here. I can do that too. Right about, yes, there we go. And I think my little mittens missed out on the glue right there. Boy, I tell you, something is going on with my glue bottle today, and I just don't know what it is. I think it just, like I said, I filled it and it got air in it, and now it wants to blow up on me. It happens. Let's put our little mittens down here. Let them lift a little bit. If you just glue elements that are long like that so the bottoms lift, it's a lot easier. I lost my glue pen. Here we go. Okay. So now we have that and that. I think we need some more flowers in here. Another thing not to be afraid to cut is your flowers. They are easily cut down so that you can slide them in places. If you don't have a small enough one, I think I do have a little bit smaller one though I can stick in there. You can also pluff them. Yeah, I'm going to put one there, and then I'm going to put one up here. we are going to put this one up in here. Get it to kind of slide in there a bit. Use my pokey tool if I have to. There we go. I want to see it, but I also want to see the rest of my piece. So and then we could add one up in here if we wanted another floral element. You can add one up here, or you can stick to the bottom. I kind of like it on the bottom. I'm not going to do a tag on this one, I don't think. I'm going to use something else. Make sure if you're using hot glue that you pick up your petals on your flowers so that they don't stick down too much. They don't have any movement or freedom to move if you do that. So I'm going to stick these flowers all back in here that I'm not using. Although I'm thinking might need one more half of one here. Go ahead and cut this. I know it seems terrible to cut up these beautiful flowers, but I do it all the time. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and put that one in there. I'm going to take the little gold thing out of there, though, because it makes it a little bit less stiff. There we go. I like to do things where I have odd numbers rather than evens. So I have 5 flowers on there total now. So what else do we have? So we have our fun sequins and such to put on. Oh, let's do some snowflakes here. So I have a couple more snowflakes that are already dyed. I have this one. I have this one. I have this one. Just seeing what I have here. So let's go ahead and put this one here. I like that. Using regular glue for this. Stick that under there with my mittens. And then maybe a little bit bigger one up here. That might be a little too big. Yeah, let's just slip this one off to the side over here. I like this one. Maybe. I'm going to go ahead and put one over here as well. This one I'm going to use hot glue for because there's already a drop of hot glue there, and I want to cover it, so I'm going to put this one right here. Maybe. Pretty. Okay, so I'm going to put some of this stuff away. So here we have this. Now we're going to go ahead and add some other elements. I'm going to grab a few of these shiny gold sequins that I have. And I'm also going to use some white Sailing crystals. Now these are from last year as well. I purchased these at the Country Craft Creation store in Utah. And I'm going to use the white ones that are in here. These have their own sticky, but I still like to add glue to mine. Do a red and gold one too. I like the red and gold. Now let's do the small red. I'll do a smaller red one down here and a bigger white one. See, that one didn't have the sticky still. It came off on the paper. That happens sometimes. Okay. Couple little dots for my sequins. And I have lost my little sequin tool in all of this mess. I don't know where it went. Well, goodness, where did it go? Oh, here it is. Trying to remember where I put glue. It's starting to dry already. Like I said, just play with it. Put them where you like the way they look. And when you feel like you have enough, that's all you need. Okay, so I did the gold. Now what? Let's go ahead and do some more white. I gotta find some white sequins. I have glittery ones. I don't think I have white. So we'll go back to the candies, because those I have. These take tweezers because I can't get them out. You can also pull them out on your hand. Oh, I've got a nice big one in here. I like that one. Just grab that one and stick it down here. Some green sequins would be good on here too. I just don't think I have any right now. I might have some green seed beads though. We could stick a couple on. Let's throw a little candy on our flowers up here. And if you have a really good tool for the picking things up and putting them on. This is a lot easier. Mine is not very sticky and it's not working for me today, so. Okay, I think that one is now done as well. I want to add, it says Merry Christmas here, so adding a sentiment is really not necessary on this one. I mean, I could add this, deck the halls across here, which would be pretty cute. I could run it kind of underneath the flower. Do I like that? Or we also have all these other stickers that come. That's not the sticker sheet. Oh, and I do have, just a moment here, I do have a couple more things. So I have this joy. We could do the joy. I kind of like that joy on there. Yeah, let's do that. Let's put the joy on there. I'm gonna throw a little hot glue off camera here on there. And I'm gonna stick that right on there so it kind of hangs off. But you still see that lovely poinsettia. There we go. Another one done. Super fun. See, they're not difficult at all. It's just a lot. I mean, you do have to put a lot of things together to make these. But yeah, that's how you make them. And to make the tags, and I'm probably actually not going to do that. We're at an hour now, and I kind of wanted to keep it at that. You do the same types of things. Just build a composition. I always try to start from the right or the right or the left, or the top or the bottom, and kind of build my composition in a triangular form, so to speak, so that your eye travels all around the composition when making these. So that is what I have, and I hope that you enjoyed this. I will put a list under my video of the different things that work for these, that you can use, like your fussy cuts, your ribbon. You can add bows to these. You can do all kinds of fun stuff with these. So I will have a list below the tutorial here, and I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday. Bye-bye.